basically what's happening with this video is I'm sitting down this week. I'm going to finish the series. There's 55 episodes left. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I may be getting interrupted with other things. I do have other concerns. You know, I have to fill another 12 gig of memory on Patreon. That's the biggest thing I got to make sure I do. Got to do that before Thursday night. I'm recording this Tuesday. So there will be interruptions. It may take me a full 7 days from here to do this, but I'm going to finish the series this week. So with that in mind, I'm kind of taking a big picture look at it. There's 55 episodes left. I think there was 300 total canon episodes. So basically, I'm going to be doing 1/6 of the entire series. It's crazy to think that there's that much left when it feels like we're in the end game here, you know. So I'm going to do several things here. First, I'm going to do a character pyramid. Not the final character pyramid, but the final character pyramid. Probably the second to last character pyramid. The last one I do will probably be at the end of the series. So that's going to be a big deal. Then I'm going to do the 10 best living characters that are left in the series. The 10 characters that are left in the series that are my favorites, and I'm going to predict what's going to happen with each one of them. And I'll end things with how any predictions that are left over. What, you know, big picture, what I think is going to happen in the series, with the knowledge that we are getting a sequel series. I'm unclear who's involved in the sequel series. All I know is that Naruto's son is there, but that could mean a lot of things, actually. It could even be like a spiritual son. Maybe he transforms into a new person, right? And that's Naruto. And, you know, that it's actually him, but it's really his son. It's kind of like, Groot that's in the second two Guardians movies is not the same character that was in the first movie. That's his son. The first Groot in the first movie died. They took a piece of him and he reproduced, but it didn't become the same person. Some people are unclear on that. So that is what I'm talking about. Or the Endless from Neil Gaiman. When an Endless dies, a new person takes their place and they become the same Endless, but they're a different person. They have the same powers, they fulfill the same role, but they have a different personality. So it could be something like that. He could just reincarnate in a way, but be a different person. So there's a lot of things that could happen here, just him being a son, right? That doesn't tell me much. The mind wanders. You can go a lot of different places with that. All right, well, let's start off with the character pyramid. All right, we always save the heroes for last. Let me look at these backstories right quick. Any new backstory? Well, we are getting Obita. I don't know. I feel like his backstory's kind of grown on me. Who do I drop down? That's a tough thing, right? Who do you drop down? Because all these guys are good. I guess what we do, we just move it over. I don't think he's done enough to get to the top. But he's definitely done enough to move over because some of these other people, they all have good backstories. There's not a terrible backstory in this entire list. So just because, Killer Bee, for instance, just because he's down there at the bottom doesn't mean he sucks. It's really good. So that's just a testament to the writing. All right. I think we can safely say Hiden is dead, right? Orochimaru's alive. Black Zetsu ain't been doing jack shit lately. Let's drop him down. I'm going to put him down here. I think Kabuto, I guess, is done. That's a very wimp ending. So I'm going to put him here. Very disappointed in him. Orochimaru, I don't know what the hell he's doing and what his plan is. But let's put him up here. Yeah, I don't... We're up to GM and Obita. I'm not sure Sasuke even belongs in villains, but he is an antagonist. He probably belongs in antagonist. So that's what we'll do there. Okay, let's see here. Naruto is killing it, so he stays at the top. Shikamaru hasn't been doing as much. Killer Bee's been doing a lot, man. Like, he doesn't belong down here. Let's get him out of here. Put him here. Shikamaru's gonna have to drop down. We haven't seen Yamamoto in a long time. Let's put him down here. And Shikamaru's dad is dead, so he doesn't stay. Kakashi did a hell of a job, man, because he killed it. He beat Obita's ass in the Nether Realm, or whatever, the Dreamscape, whatever we want to call it, and forced him out. So that had an effect. So he's really been doing it. So I'm going to put him in the second spot. We need somebody else up here. I think... Who's the old guy with the bad back and the big ugly nose? I'm just going to say old mofo. You know who I mean? He's been really big. He's been rallying the 5 leaders and keeping them on track. He belongs up there. I don't think he's anywhere on here, unless I completely forgot his name, which I have. But, alright, so 2 of these people in level 3 need to go. I guess it could be Choji and Aino. Get them out of here. I don't think Black Panther's been doing a whole lot lately. Get him out of here. Garb's been better than this. Let's put him here. And drop 10-10 down. That feels more representative of what's actually been happening here. Alright, so that's the character pyramid. Let's go ahead and go to 10 best living characters. Alright. I'm not going to hold you. Obviously, Naruto is the best living character, right? Like, come on. I think he's going to have a heroic sacrifice. He'll be Hokage for a day. He'll finally be made Hokage, and then he will go out in a heroic sacrifice. Somebody in Lost did that. They took the mantle of power. They took the ultimate leadership role, served that function for just a couple hours, did what they needed to do, saved the world, heroic sacrifice, and they died, and then somebody else took over the power. So he'll be Hokage for a day, then he'll die, then he'll get a statue up there, but he'll be gone. So that's why things are happening with him. Second favorite, favorite, best. Favorite's different than best. Okay. Favorite's different than best. I'm talking about the best, just the most interesting. When you see them on screen, there's always something interesting happening. Whether they get a lot of screen time or they get a little screen time, when you see them, there's something going on there. And for me, that's Shikamaru. He's always got something going on. So what's going to happen to him? I think he's going to marry Fangirl. They just had fireworks, man. They've only had a couple scenes together, but when they have, they've been good. And I've never forgotten that. He's going to marry Fangirl, and he will become the next Hokage. So if we're keeping track at home, Tsunade's a 5th, Naruto's a 6th, which means he'll become the 7th. He's a good leader. And he's learned a lot. He lost his father, pain, all that stuff. Alright. Next most interesting character whenever they're on screen, something interesting is going to happen for the most part. Not always, but for the most part, Sasuke. What's going to happen to him? I think he will retire to the wilderness and revitalize his clan. Whoever's left from his clan, he's going to take them, he's going to take other people, because you will have to crossbreed, of course, and go somewhere and form a new village, and that'll be their clan, where they can be safe, where they're just by themselves. That's what I think he's going to do. But, now, we're not doing either or, we're not doing multiple choice, but I will say this. If Naruto doesn't do a heroic sacrifice, I think Sasuke will. One of these two is doing a heroic sacrifice to save the village. I just believe it. I don't think you set these two characters up the way you do and have them both live. So, but like I said, we're not doing multiple choice here. I rolled the dice. I'm saying Naruto, heroic sacrifice, Sasuke lives. But Just putting it out there. Is Sasuke... If Naruto lives, then Sasuke dies. So that's what I think. But I think a better ending for his story is just to go out and start a new village with his clan. And start over. You know? An old man dies, a baby cries. That kind of situation. By the way, I'm not doing villains on here because obviously the villains are going to die. Come on. Do we think Orochimaru's going to survive the series? Come on. It's obvious. They lose everything and they fail and they die. So that's where I'm at. Now, Orochimaru specifically might not die because he's kind of, I guess he's kind of going away from being total evil and all this shit. I could see a path to redemption for him, maybe, I suppose. But the way this show is, you know, they do believe in redemption. They do believe bringing people back from the precipice. So maybe that will happen. But I'm not banking on it, and he's not on the list. All right, number 4. Tsunade. I think she will retire and open up a hospital. I don't know if they have hospitals in this world. They probably do, but like a special ninja hospital or something. Doing what she loves. I don't think the bureaucratic life is for her. I don't think she wants to be stuck being a bureaucrat until she dies. So there we are. That's what that's a good ending for her, right? She'll be with her pig, and maybe she'll keep her minion, you know, and they'll have fun and, you know, good times, right? Sakura. So, what do I think? This is a tough one. The instinct is, because the kind of show this is, teenage melodrama, shipping crap type show. She marries somebody. I think if you're going to do a shot in the dark, I think Bushy Brow. He's always had a crush on her. He's always liked her. I could totally see her marrying Bushy Brow. I don't think, even if Naruto lives, I don't think she'd marry him. That's not the kind of friendship they have. But that's what I think will happen. But here's what I want to happen. I want her to go off and explore the world. You know, she's a ninja. She has talents. Just go see what's out there. Now, it seems to be pretty developed. Like, I mean, they have power lines and shit, so maybe the whole world's already been explored, but it hasn't been seen by her. So that's what I'd love to see her do. Probably marry Bushy Brow. Ugh. Want her to explore the world. I'm writing these down because I won't remember these later. We'll look at these at the end of the series and laugh, okay? So, okay. Just shows how strong this group is that Kakashi is all the way up here. That he doesn't drop until 6. Like that, you know, that's just how strong the group is. This is a strong group of people. Very interesting characters. He's also been sidelined a lot in the series. The first series as well. He would disappear for the entire middle part of the series. Like, what was the first series? Like 200 episodes, something like that? He was gone for a smooth 75 episodes in the middle. Like, that made no sense. So, what's going to happen with him? I think he'll fall in battle. I think that'll be the darkest before the dawn kind of thing. Now, what I want to happen is, I wouldn't mind him going off with Sakura and the two of them explore the world together or something like that. You know, kind of like old times. Friendship. I wouldn't even mind seeing those two hook up. But he may almost be twice her age, so that probably just would never work. I mean, my parents were 17 years apart. Mom was 19 and Dad was 36 or some shit. They had a huge age difference. But it was love of a lifetime. When Mom died, Dad never dated again. The last 20 years of Dad's life, he didn't date. So, you know, I mean, true love is what that was. 30 years of his life. Jesus. Yeah, she died in 90 and he died in 2018. So yeah, the last 28 years of his life he didn't date. That's true love. They had a huge age difference, and a lot of times you can't get past the age difference. Their problem wasn't that. Their problem was she couldn't stop drinking, and drinking was ruining his life. He had to stop drinking. But you can't be married to somebody who drinks and you don't drink, right? So that was one of the problems. They fought a lot too. So, but if it was like her addiction and his addiction kind of tore them apart more than they couldn't really be together in an ideal world, they would have spent their lives together. But she was the true love of his life. So people can overcome massive age differences. I don't think Kakashi and Sakura are 17 years apart. I think they're closer than that. But also, there is the other problem. Like, if you've been somebody's teacher, I don't know how you bridge the gap and how you flip a switch and suddenly... So, it probably won't work. I'm just saying, this is an idle thought. It's not a big deal. But that aside, I would just like to see them explore the world together. He's probably just going to fall in battle, though. I mean, it feels like at the end of his story, it feels like him taking Obito out with him, that kind of thing. When I talk about the heroic sacrifice, by the way, either Sasuke or Naruto, I think it's going to be a spell of some sort. Like, you have to cast this spell. I know they don't use this spell terminology, but, like, just stay with me. You know what I'm saying? You have to cast a spell that's so powerful it will kill you. Kind of like what Naruto's father did. See, and that's a good circle, right? The only thing about that is, like, again, we're bumping up against him having a kid. So it would be during this fight. I think that this fight will be over. Somebody will survive. They will be the final threat. Naruto has some downtime to do a time jump and to imply that he was with somebody. With them, biblically. I doubt they'll show anything, but they'll imply it pretty heavily. And then he'll go off for the final conflict, and that's when he does cast a spell that saves everybody's life and kills himself. So that's what I mean by heroic sacrifice. Somebody like Kakashi, he'll just fall in battle. He'll take somebody powerful out with him and then die from his injuries. So that's how I see that playing out. I could totally see Gaara dying in battle too, I don't think so. I think he'll just go back to his village and stay the whatever their leader is called. I know they have different names. Rikage, Chikage, Chukage, whatever it is, right? Kage must mean leader of some sort, and then they put something in front of it to modify it. I don't know. He'll just go back to his village and say leader. You're not going to kill everybody off. I could totally see him being a prime candidate to kill off as well. But there's something about the fact he was brought back to life at the beginning of this series. So pay that off by having him live a long life. I can kind of see that, right? So that's going to be relatively simple. Who do I think he ends up with? Probably nobody we know, I think. Because I think Fangirl's going down there to Shikamaru. That's one I just have a gut feeling about that one. Rest of them I have, a lot of them I don't have any idea. He'll get married to somebody, right? Probably somebody we don't know. That was the problem I had with Harry Potter. Everybody marries other characters that have been mentioned a lot in the series. So nobody, they met each other at 11 and they end up marrying that person. Like, that makes no sense. It's much more likely that you may make a lot of friends at 11, but then you don't meet the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with till you're 25. I mean, that's the way it typically works. But they had to pair everybody off that we knew in Harry Potter, and that just felt weak. What I love? The True Blood series finale was straight garbage. It was awful. The entire last couple seasons were awful. But one thing I liked that they did was, at the end, Suki Stackhouse married somebody that we had never met. We didn't know who it was. They didn't get any lines. It was just some dude sitting there. Some random person she met after the series is over. Because they did a flash forward, right? I love that so much. I wish more shows had the guts to do that. Look, they end up being married and being happy with somebody. We don't know them. Because you're not always going to marry the people you have your hardest times with, right? I just wish they'd do it. It's just more realistic writing. It's more satisfying writing. So, you don't need to pair everybody up in this series with people we've seen. Maybe they meet somebody from another village next week after the series is over. The week after the series is over. Probably. But the hackneyed, cliche, hack writing trick is just you pair everybody up this together. So, I'm going to avoid that with my predictions. Shoji, my boy. Having said what I just said, I think he's going to end up with somebody we know. You want Big Boy to be happy. Isn't she in his group? Yeah, I think so. So, let's just have them marry each other. Whatever, right? He could do worse. I'd love to see her go off with Sakura. And they just have a girls' road trip, right? What was those two psychos? What was that movie with those two psychos? The two women did the crime spree and they ended up dying at the end. I've actually never seen that movie, but I know that they drive a car off a cliff at the end or something, right? The hell is that called? I don't remember. But do that, but without the crime and without the dying at the end. So so they both live and they're happily ever after. Okay, Sai becomes a real boy, and they have a council, right? Like a ruling council that kind of advises the Hokage. I believe so. I think he joins the council. I think he's learned a lot. He's very logical. He's meticulous. He'd be a good person to be on the council. That's where you can kind of see his end game being that kind of thing. Speaking of which, these two, since they're married, they open. And she has a business background because of her mom with the flower shop. They open a ramen shop. That's their end game, right? Because they do, right? She's got the business acumen, and he's got the eating and cooking acumen. You know he's a good cook. He's got to be, right? All right, we only got room for one more person. Who do I put up here? A lot of people I can put here. Matter of fact, play a little game if you want to. Drop in a comment right now your prediction of who you think I'm going to put at number 10. Pause this video right here, put it in a comment, and then when I reveal it, you can go back and you edit the comment with whether you were right or wrong. So, we'll know it, but just it's fun. I'm making predictions, and I'm going to be wrong about most of them. So why don't you make a prediction? Put yourself out there for once. So go ahead and pause the video here. Okay, that should be enough time. Killer B. He's dead as hell. And I'm not just saying that because his rapping is garbage. I'm saying it because I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to... Another heroic kind of sacrifice. I've been predicting this for a long time. It hasn't happened yet. It may never happen. If he lives, I could see him becoming Hokage or something. Although he doesn't have the bureaucrat life. He's a carefree dude. He wouldn't want to be leader. He doesn't want to be part of the bureaucracy. The government machine. He wouldn't want that. So no, I can see him opening up a pot farm because we know that dude does drugs. Come on now. He be token up, man. You know he does. Alrighty, well, I'm pretty happy with these predictions. Let's put them up here one more time for you to see. Here's all of them. We will find out. So, moving on to predictions for the entire series. They kind of obviously tie into predictions for the people. I think you can kind of get an idea what my thinking is. What I think is going to happen, we'll have obliterated the evil forces and we'll have love in the land and we'll have peace and cooperation between the five great nations and all the smaller folk. We'll have peace in our time. If Attack on Titan taught us anything, is that peace lasts for a couple generations at the most. In this case, probably just one generation. I don't know what the threat will be, what will be happening in Baratu. Maybe that's what people don't like about it. Depends on how this actually ends. But if this ends with the tone of peace, love, harmony, and happiness, what the hell are we doing in the sequel series that's literally just 15 years later? Especially now, it could be more time. If Naruto survives this series, you may get a 20 to 25 year time jump. But if not, then the kid has to have been born at the end of the series, or conceived at the end of the series, depending on how this all plays out. 15 to 25 years. 25 years is a little more palatable. Lord of the Rings was going to get a sequel, and I think it was 100 or 200 years later. And it turned out to be too cynical. And so J.R.R. Tolkien decided he scrapped it. He wrote, I think 17 pages. He wrote, one chapter. And then just stopped because it was too cynical and it undercut the way Lord of the Rings ended. Lord of the Rings ended in a very definitive peace, love, happiness, and harmony kind of way, right? And he felt like a sequel undercut that. I wonder if this sequel undercuts... Obviously, you can't tell me now. I'm thinking out loud, right? If a sequel undercuts that sense, that feeling, how we end this series. Because I think that's how we're ending the series. Peace, love, happiness, and harmony. Peace in our time. There's no threat out there. I think into every generation there comes a threat, but like it could also Baratu could also be a smaller series. The threat is smaller. It's a threat just to the one village or maybe to one family. Probably not. Like I don't, that doesn't feel big enough. So I don't know. I mean, but putting aside the sequel series, like he first finished this series without regard. I assume without regard to a sequel. Depends. I'd be more inclined to believe he finish this series without regard to sequel if Naruto lives. Because otherwise, you have to set up, unless the sequel series retcons. Oh, by the way, remember this one time Naruto hooked up before he did his heroic sacrifice and he died? And then they could do a flashback and show the 10 minutes that we hadn't seen him on screen with whoever his partner is, probably Neji's sister or whatever. That girl. That's what I think the baby mom is going to be. But remember that maybe it's a retcon. Otherwise, though, he would already be thinking of a sequel series if he inserts that into here, but then Naruto dies, right? Or he could just be thinking about life goes on, old man died, baby cries, that kind of shit. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts, like because it's like if Naruto lived, this, that, and the other. If Naruto died, this, that, and the other. And it's really hard to you have to serve both sides at this time because you don't know which way it plays out. So I'll just say we're clearly and obviously going to end with no hate, no war. And I think that starts with continuity of leadership is how you do that. Gaara is leader. Which is it Black Panther that's the leader of that tribe, Killer Bee's tribe. And then you've got the redhead, and then you've got the old man. I can see the old man dying, maybe you can lose one of them, but I think we're going to end up with at least 3 of the 5 leaders still in place from before the war. I do think Tsunade is going to step down and she's going to elevate somebody. Probably not Shikamaru at this moment. She might stay on for a year or 2. But I still see ultimately Shikamaru being the Hokage. But, continuity of leadership, so that means most of those people live and then they can foster in a new era. We all work together. We remember this. It's not like we took power after the war when we'd all work together. We need people who are there. We need people who remember what it was like to work together under the worst circumstances. So I think those people, by definition, means that those leaders will live, keep the job, right? So that's what I think big picture. And in smaller picture, I've talked about most of the people. I think there'll be cross-marrying between villages, which I don't think was kosher before the series started. That's why I'm really big on the idea, besides the little chemistry they have in the few scenes they've had together, which to me feels like foreshadowing. Fangirl and Shikamaru, you haven't had that before. I don't think people have typically married between villages before. So if we do that here, we're showing that's another example of peace, love, and happiness between villages. So that's one reason I'm really big on that. Other than the fact they make a cute couple. But it doesn't have to be those. So it could be any 2 people from any 2 villages, right? It's hard to think about anybody else who's had like major screen time. It'd have to be Leaf Village and Sand Village, some combination. Ino and Gaara, but have they ever even talked to each other? Have they had a single scene together? Maybe they fought back in the first series. Maybe. I don't remember. I can't remember a single scene they've had together. Neji's sister, whatever the hell her name is. Do I even have her she should be on a character pyramid. What the hell is her name? Huh. They're saying Neji's sister is Rin. That's not right. Rin is Obita's pseudo-girlfriend. That's not right. You lying motherfuckers. Maybe her name is Henrietta. That's another name that's coming up. See, that's why I don't like the searching for these characters. Hinata, that's her name. Hinata. How has she never been on the character corner? I'm thinking she's going to be Naruto's baby mama. Let me put her on there. Yeah, I'm going to put her at the bottom. But she needs to be on this list. I don't like doing it, though, because then it'll be spoilers, too. Because when I looked up Neji, one of the things, autofill things, was his death. See, you see that and you assume he's going to die at some point, right? Not good. I could see maybe her if she doesn't become Naruto's baby mom, if it's somebody else like Sakura or who's there was a third person I was thinking was a suspect as well. I don't remember who that was now. Not a lot of female characters in this, but I could see maybe her with somebody from the Leaf Village. There was that third guy, the puppet guy. He's from the Leaf Village, isn't he? Maybe him marry somebody. I don't know. I just think thematically it's necessary. You need, especially when they haven't really made it a point, but they have. You can kind of read between the lines and see there's no marrying between villages. It's just not really kosher. So at that point, at the end of the series, you kind of want to have that happen just to break that barrier and show we are truly going to get peace between us from now on. That kind of shit. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Big picture, little picture, kind of how I'm seeing everything play out at this point. Guess there's nothing left to do but to watch the last 55 episodes now. Like I said, we'll return to these ideas at the end of the series and see how idiotic and stupid and wrong I was.